Hello there from Central Virginia. We're back on the porch. That means I'm going to cook today. You know me as a person who loves to garden, and I also love to cook what I grow. And today I'm going to cook some of the things that I grew, but also some peaches that I bought from the Saunders Brothers orchard just down the road from me in Nelson County, Virginia. Well, I'm going to make a tomato peach salsa. And it's going to be roasted, and it's actually going to be really, really easy. I'm going to make this recipe for canning, water bath canning, so I'll show you how to do that too at the end of the video if you're interested. This is a delicious and very simple recipe to make. For this recipe, you are going to need about 3 pounds of tomatoes, and you just want to slice them and put them face down on a baking sheet. And also 3 pounds of cling-free, stone-free peaches. You just need to wash them. You don't peel them. We're going to pop these under the broiler, and we're going to leave them there until their skins begin to char. Same with the tomatoes. You will want to chop up 1 red pepper, 1 large red onion, and 4 small chili peppers. I'm using fish peppers and green serrano peppers. You can use more spice or not at all if you prefer. Usually you make a salsa using fresh cilantro, but because I'm cooking this, I don't find the cooked and jarred salsas that pleasant with cilantro. It just turns kind of dark gray and it doesn't really give much flavor. So instead I'm going to just put in some coriander seed, and I might actually also put in a dash of cumin. The other things I'm going to add, you want to make sure your acidity is right with any kind of thing that you're going to water bath can. And also salsa is going to be great with lime. So I'm adding 1 cup of lime juice, bottled lime juice. That's important because the acidity is going to be consistent, and that's important for canning. And I'm also going to add about 3/4 of a cup of cider vinegar. This is apple cider vinegar. Also, some salt you'll need as well. And my special ingredient that I love to put into my peach tomato salsa is honey. So I'll be adding in, about 3 tablespoons of this honey. Now, while you prepare your ingredients, what you want to do is to get your jars ready in your water bath canner. You want to put clean jars, I'm using pint jars, into a big canning pot. It just has to be a big kettle. And you want to cover it with about 2 inches, an inch of water. And you want to bring that up just to a simmer. You also want to wash with soap and water and rinse well your lids and your rings for your canning jars. Once your peaches and your tomatoes have cooled just a little bit, you just want to chop them up roughly. You don't have to remove the skins, and you're going to put them into a big pot. You're going to add in the peppers, you're going to add in the onions and the hot chili peppers as well, the lime juice and the cider, and then you're going to add about 1 teaspoonful of the coriander seeds and about 1/2 teaspoon to 1 teaspoonful of the cumin and about 1.5 teaspoons of the salt. Then you're going to add in 3 to 4 tablespoons of the honey, and you're going to bring that all up, bubbly boil. You're going to let that cook for about 10 minutes, and then you're going to prepare you're going to put it into the jars for canning. It's a very, very simple recipe. All right, so now it's time to can our sauce. It's been bubbling around for about 10 minutes now, and we're going to water bath can. If you know how to do this, bye-bye. I'll see you later. If you want to learn how to do this, very simple. I'll show you how. As I said, you've been boiling your jars. You've been simmering your jars now in water that's just below boiling, and that sterilizes them. You're going to need a jar filler. This is available at any place that sells canning supplies in grocery stores. It's not absolutely necessary, but it makes things much, much easier. And my other essential is a jar puller, because you're not going to want to handle those hot jars. When I'm water bath canning, I work with 2 jars at a time. I pull 2 jars out, I can the product, I put them right back in the canner, and then I pull 2 more out. So that's what we're going to do. First thing I do is pull the product off the stove. You can do this pressure canning, but honestly it's just not worth the effort and the time. So, because it's pretty quick this way. So I'm just kind of pulling out the salsa, putting it in the jar. You're going to want to fill the jar. until it's about 1/2 inch from the top. Don't overfill, because that will, see, that one's overfilled. I'll show you what to do in just a second. You kind of get a knack for how many it's going to take. Just take some of that product out, put it back in the pot like that. Boom. Boom. All right, this is white vinegar, and I'm just going to take some of it. I'm going to wipe the rim down, and the reason you do that is just in case you spilled anything on the rim, that's not going to become between the jar and the seal. The next thing is to take the jar tops, place them carefully on the jar, and then secure them with a ring. You can reuse the ring as many times as you want, but you cannot reuse the lids. You want to get them finger tight. And then you just take your jar lifter and put them back into the canner. You just repeat that process until all your jars are full. If you have leftover, just stick it in the fridge. Or you could do a second batch, but this is going to make about 6 jars of salsa. I love to use this salsa on fish. I'm going to make it actually with some roast pork tonight. You can use it fresh. Water bath canning is only good for high acid foods. Both peaches and tomatoes have good acid, and I added acid when I put in the vinegar and the lime juice. So this has plenty of acid. Otherwise, you need to pressure can or freeze. This can be frozen. I like having it in jars because you can just, it's ready to use whenever you want it. Okay, a couple of important details. Once your canning jars are in the canner, everything's sealed, you just want to make sure your canner is boiling, and when it begins to boil, you put the timer for 20 minutes for this recipe. Every recipe is different, so always check. 20 minutes on this recipe. When 20 minutes is up, you turn off the water and you put your timer for 5 minutes. You let it sit for 5 minutes, and then you pull those jars out very carefully, straight up, and then put them over on a counter or cutting board or someplace that's going to be undisturbed for at least 12 hours. 24 hours is better. After 24 hours, take the bands off. Double check to make sure every single jar lid is sealed. It should not make any sound. It should not bubble up or go tit, 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 tit. No. You let that, that says that it's sealed. But also, very important, pick the jar up by the top. If the lid is loose, your product is not good. Just stick it in the fridge. It'll be okay. And then you can rejar it. You can heat it up again to boiling and rejar it. So those are just kind of important safety tips. Canning is not dangerous inherently if you do it correctly, but it's really important not to take shortcuts. It's really important to do it correctly. So that is my charred tomato peach salsa. It's going to be kind of zesty and spicy. Now I have extra. So what I'm going to do with my extra is I'm going to put it with a pork tenderloin tonight. Mwah, perfect. Thank you so very much for watching. Do try your hand at canning if you hadn't done it before. It's a great way to have a last minute gift that you can give somebody at Christmas time or holiday time. It's a great thing to be able to pull out of your pantry. And it's a nice thing just to have all year long. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye. Hey, if you like to garden and you like to cook what you grow, subscribe. Oh, and also don't forget to like and share this. And please comment. I like to hear from my viewers.